Today, inshallah, I'm going to explain everything related to the to character animation, starting with the character rigging and then character animation. After that, I'm going to explain to you the how to add some lip sync to create a lip sync animation. Also, I'm going to explain to you how to add eye blinking to the to our character. So stay with me and keep your attention with me. First of all, I'm going to import to stage a character as always. The first step after that, we need to convert all the layer to symbol by pressing on F8 or right click, graphic, and OK. Same step to all layers. Once I finish converting all the layers to symbol and graphic, I'm going to start linking and connecting the character parts together. As I said before, the root for the character will be the hips. I'm going to use the parenting to connect the character layers together. In order to link two layers together, to make a layer as a parent to another, you need to click at the this colored rectangle next to the layer, click and drag to create a link. If you made a mistake or if you want to undo your link, you need to click here at the empty area, one click, and then you can set this layer as a parent, or you can look at the original one here and remove the parent. That's how you can remove the apparent you make between layers. As I said, the hips will be the root, will be the reference to all layers will be connected to the hips. So I'm going to connect the legs to the hips and the torso. First leg, second one, and the torso. And now if I move the hips, the first part of the legs and the torso will move with it. And then I'm going to start connecting the legs together. Foot with knee and knee with thigh. Second one, same. And now I need to start working with the arms, hand with forearm, forearm with arm, second arm, and then head with the neck and neck with torso, first arm with the torso, and second arm with the torso. Now let us test. We need now to start adjusting the the reference point to all layers. You can do this phase before connecting the character parts together. I'm now clicking using the free transform, and then I'm selecting all the layers and adjusting the reference point to each one of them. And the torso, we can put it here or here. First step, by adjusting the reference point, we specify from where or around which point this layer will be rotating. Once I finish all the layers, I need to arrange them. For example, this arm, I need to send it to back. If I use the arrange, will not work. It will not work for me. Why? Because the layers are connected together. So if I want to arrange the layers, I need to go to the layer window and drag this arm below the hips. Also, I need to fix the knee layer and this one. And now the character is prepared. Before I start working on the animation, I need to create two empty layers, one for the reference image and another one. I'm going to make it as a ground. I'm going to drag both of them down. And then I need to set the timeline to 25. I need to insert a blank keyframe to all layers. When we want to create an animation for a character, exactly, especially for a character, usually we create the animation based on a reference. And that reference could be an image or could be a video. Sometimes if we have a very complex animation, it's better to work based on a video. And in real animation studios, sometimes if they do not have a reference, they create a reference. They record or shoot a real characters, a real actors acting, and then convert this acting to as an animation to their characters. So it is very important to understand how to work based on a reference image. I told you before, and I'm going to repeat today, it is very important to start with the main keyframes. By main keyframes, I mean we start with creating the keyframes that contain a major change on our character. For example, here in this reference image, sometimes we call them contact. Contact here, we have two poses for contact. The first one will be at frame 1 and 25. The second one will be at frame 13. These two contacts, when we see them, you can see that these two contacts are the opposite of each other. For example, here we have the one arm moving forward, and that arm at this other contact will be moving backward. So the contact at frame 13 will be the opposite of contact frame at frame 1 and 25. And you need to keep in mind when you want to create a cycle of something, for example, a walking cycle or a running cycle, you need to make the first frame exactly the same as the last frame of your cycle. Why? Because when you want to repeat this cycle, if you don't want to have any weird artifact or any mistakes on your animation, you must create the first and last frame on your cycle as the same. As I said, usually we start, most of the time, we start with the frames that contain a major change. Here we have a walk cycle, so the major change will be reversing the the arms and legs. And after that, we can start working on the other poses like the down, the passing, and the peak. For the down and passing, focus on the top of the head here. You can see that at this pose, we drag the whole character a little down. And this is how the human walk in real life. At the passing, we drag the character a little up. So let us start with creating the first contact by using the transform window. Here you can click at window and open the transform. And then I can use it to start working on my animation. Before I start, I'm going to drag the character to the right a little. And this reference image, I'm going to keep it here. Let us start with the legs. This one, I want to make it move forward. And this one will be backward. The arms moves in the opposite direction of the when we compare them to the legs. So if the leg in the front moving backward, then the arm in the front will move forward. I'm going to select the other arm from the layer window. I need to move it back. And that will be the first contact balls. Once I finish, I need to select all the keyframes for the layer character layers. Right click and copy frame. At the 25, I need to select the frames for the character. Right click and paste frames. And then I need to start working on the pose on the frame 13, the other contact. Here I need to reverse the movement. This leg was moving backward. Now it should be forward, and this backward. Same with the arms. Let us drag the character a little down. And then before I continue, it's very important to add a keyframe to all layer to prevent any weird thing from happening. Once I finish, you can see now, I need to select all these frames for the character layers and right click classic tween. And now I have the basic movement. Remember that it's much better to create the classic tween before you continue working on the other poses. Why? Because it will make your task easier. Because by creating the classic tween before, the classic tween will create some interpolation between the main contact. So it will make your task easier. And then I need to start working on the other poses. Let us start with the down pose. Down pose will be at frame 4 and 16. First of all, as I said, I need to drag the character a little down like this, and the leg that at the front, I need to move it. I need to make it like this. And this one, I need to send it to back a little more. Once I finish, I need to add a keyframe to all layers. And then I need to start working on the frame 16 to do the same. First of all, I need to drag the character a little down. This one, I need to send it to back like this. And then I need to add a keyframe to all layers. Now I need to start working on the passing balls at frame 7 and 19. I need to start with dragging the character up. And this one, from the knee, I'm going to drag it a little back. Focus on something that on the down and passing poses. The leg in the front, we make it flat or straight on the ground. Focus on that. Then I need to start working at frame second pose, passing pose at frame 19. And then need to add a keyframe to all layers. Now I need to start working on the last pose at the peak point. Here I need to move this a little forward. And this one a little backward, like this. At frame 22, let us check now. Let us drag the ground to the top. And that's how we can create a simple walk cycle. Okay. If I want to repeat this walk cycle, how can I do that? For example, I want to repeat it, make the walk cycle for 2 seconds. First of all, I need to open the keyframes. To open the frames by inserting a blank keyframes, you can press on F5, and then you need to select the keyframes. You don't need to select the first one because, as I said before, first one is exactly the same as last one, and last one will act as the first one for the next cycle. So no need to copy the first keyframe. Once you select them, you need to click on right and copy frames. The distance between the first keyframe and second one is 2 frames. So here I need to jump after 2 keyframes and then select these frames. You need to click on right and paste frames. Here, you just need to click and drag. Let us check now. And now we have a walk cycle animation over 2 seconds, not 1 second. Okay, what about the displacement? If I want to move the my character across the scene, how can I do that? I'm going to create an empty layer. Inside that layer, I'm going to create any shape. For the reference image, I no longer need it. And for that shape, I'm going to press on F8 to convert to graphic. Once I have a layer contain a graphic shape, a shape converted to graphic, I need to select all these layers and move them inside this layer. Because by moving these layers inside, the displacement of for the character will be easier. You can do the displacement, you can move the character across the scene by updating the hips animation, by start working on moving the hips across the scene. But this task is complex. There are a better way to do that. So I'm going to select all the character layers right click and cut them. Here I have this shape, this graphic layer, double click, and then inside it, focus now, I'm inside the new graphic layer, right click, paste layers. For the layer that contain the shape, I no longer need it. Now I can move back to the scene. Here I have my character. I can adjust the reference point to this layer, and then I can scale it. I can reverse it. I can do anything I want. Let us scale it a little down, and then I'm going to move it here. Like this. And now if I hit on a play, you can see that I have the same animation. Now I can click on right and create a classic tween. Here I can move the character to here, for example. Let us check. And now I have the character moving, but I might need to drag it a little up. Still, I need to drag it more. And here I need to do the same. And that's how you can create a displacement for the character walk cycle. After that, let us start working on the eye blinking. I click double on the character. I have the head layer. Also, I'm going to double click on it. Zoom in. I have the eyes layers. By using shift, I'm selecting all the layers and then right click, distribute to layers. Let us move this down. And let us split the white area from the black by double click again, Control X, go back to symbol, press here and Control Shift V to paste in place, and then right click, distribute to layers. I'm going to do the same to the other eye, right click, Control X to cut, back, Control Shift V to paste in place, and right click, distribute to layers. And now I have all the eyes parts separated. Now I can start working on the eye blinking. I'm going to create an empty layer by using the rectangle. I'm going to create a rectangle here and another one here. And then by using the pre-transform, I'm going to select both of them, right click, distribute to layers. Let us open the frame for 20, for example. And then let us arrange these layers. Let us call this F1. F1, F2. For these layers, I'm going to move them down. I'm going to hide these. I'm going to move this up and this layer up. The output will be like this. Once I finish, I'm going to start working on animating the eye blinking, the eye closing and open. Here at frame 5, I'm going to add a keyframe to F1 and F2 for these. I need to go back to frame 1. I need to zoom in a little more. And here, by pressing on Alt on keyboard, I'm going to move this rectangle here. And then the second one, I'm going to do the same by pressing on Alt. I'm going to move it here. Okay, let us select both of these. Right click, classic tween. Okay, let us remove these keyframes. And then I'm going to hit on F6 here. After 2 frames, I'm going to use the free transform again. By using Alt, I'm going to scale down. And then by using Alt, I'm going to scale down like this. Okay, it seems that I have a problem with the animation. I'm going to delete it. Just remove these frames. By pressing on Alt, and then I'm going to select both of them, create classic tween. Here, F6 and F6, and here, F6 and F6. Let us go back to this frame. And drag it up. And here, I'm going to do the same. Okay, now I'm going to copy these frames, right click, copy. I'm going to put them at the beginning, paste. These frames, remove, not remove, clear. After 2 frames, I'm going to select these 2 again, hit on F6, and then here I'm going to click on right and paste keyframes again. For those I don't need, clear keyframes. Let us check now. Let us click on play. I can make it slow a little, slower than this, by dragging these here. And these here. Okay, then here I'm going to create a classic tween F6 for the eye pupil, and here I'm going to move it down a little. I'm going to copy this frame and paste it here, and copy this frame to make it go back and paste it here. Let us check now. Once the eye start blinking, and when it start opening again, here I need to move it up. Let's check now. For the eye split up, copy this frame. Need to copy this. Copy and paste. I need to copy this frame, not for the other layer. Copy frame and paste it here. One need to put here. For this layer, I need to do the same for the other pupil. Classic tween, and here F6. Once it open again, another F6, and here in the middle, I'm going to drag it a little down to move a little once the eye close, moving a little up once the eye open. I need to copy the frame and paste it here. Let us check now. Last step we need to do, I'm going to use the eye dropper to select the skin color, and I'm going to save it on the color window. Add to switches. Here, after once I select the color, I need to add it to switches. After that, I need to double click on the rectangles I have inside the properties. Here, inside the fill, you will find the color that we saved, the skin color. I need to do the same for the other one. And now you can Let us go back to the symbol, to the graphic that contained our character. Let us zoom out. I click on play. You can see that the character is still not blinking because we already have a classic tween here on the head layer. The classic tween inside will not be applied, but we can apply it by clicking, for example, here at this frame, and then we can go to the object. Down here, we have something called frame picker. We can click on it to access the animation inside that layer. And here at this frame, at frame 7, I can select this, the frame number 5, to make the eye start blinking. Now you can see here at frame 10, I need to select this frame to make the eye continue. At this frame, I need to select this, for example, or this. And now you can check. You can add as much as many as you want. You can add, for example, another eye blinking here. As I said, all you need to do is selecting the frames from here. What I did, I clicked here. Instead of frame 1, I select frame 5. I ordered the software to inside this frame to play the animation exist inside. But if I have another keys, I need to, for example, here at 10, I need to select a few frames after to make the animation, the inside animation continue appearing. And because of that, after 2 keyframes, I selected this one to make the eye open again. And that's how can we create an eye blinking for a character. If we move to the main scene, you can see it. And last thing I think I'm going to do today is the lip sync. I need to go back inside the head. I need to create an empty layer. I need to go to File, Import to Stage. For the lip sync, you can search on them online. You will find a plenty, or you can create them by your own. Let us adjust the scale. In this file, you can see that we have some shapes, and these shapes explain or appears based on the spoken text. These are the types of the shapes of the appearance, how the lips will appear based on pronouncing the letters or the words. So we need to specify them to the to Adobe Animate. So once we add a voiceover, the voiceover will be synced or synchronized with the lips. Here you can see the shape of the mouth based on the pronouncing letters. For example, the letter A, E, and I, the shape of the mouth or the lips will be the same. O, the shape will be like this, and the other letters. Let us start by deleting this background we don't need. Also, the letters, we use them as a reference to know how to specify these shapes for the software. But for now, I don't need them. I'm going to delete all of them. I know the appearance of the mouth shape we have here is not appropriate with the character we have, but here I'm explaining a technique. You can open these by using Illustrator, and then you can adjust them. Or you can search online and find a better one than this. Now I have all of them. I'm going to drag them and put them here. I need to click inside and select all of them like this, and click on Ctrl X and move back. Here, Ctrl Shift with V to paste in place, and then right click, distribute, but not to layer, distribute to key frames, because I want to keep them with the same layers, with the same layer, but on different key frames, like this. After that, I need to place all of them over the mouth. So in order to make my task easy, I'm going to use a reference rectangle to know where to place them. Let us zoom in. And now let us start adjusting or placing them over the mouth. Next one. Now if we move the cursor, need to adjust this also. Now for the reference rectangle, delete, I don't want. For the original shape, delete. I hit on the play. I move back. You can see they are keep moving, and I don't want that. Here on the graphic that contain the character layers inside the main scene, I'm going to create an empty layer, and then I'm going back to the inside the head layer. Here for the ellipses layer, I'm going to click right and cut layer. And here here I need to create a shape as I did before. And then F8 to convert this layer to graphic. Double click, and here right click, and then I'm going to paste the ellipses or the shape of the mouth. Here I can drag it easily back here. I am now inside the symbol 16, as you can see. Now, if I play, you can see that the ellipses are not moving with the character. How can I fix that? I can fix that easily by connecting the ellipses with the head. I'm going to make the head as a parent for the ellipses. And now you can see it will be moving with the hips. After that, I need to click at the first keyframe. I need to go to Object And here down here, you can see that we have something called lip sync. Lip sync is short for ellipsis synchronization, synchronizing the ellipses based on a voice over. Let us click on it. You can see that we have some layers we need to specify for the system to make the ellipses work accurately based on any voiceover. The letters here take the first one at the mouth layer, at the ellipsis layer we create, so we need to adjust them. In order to make this task easily, I'm going to open the the uh, the image that contains the ellipses. Here you can see the reference image for the ellipses. I'm going to work based on it. I'm opening the ellipse again. Here we have the A and H. Letter A, the shape of the mouth without talking. I'm going to replace it with this. The letter A and H will be like this. So I'm going to keep it as it is. Letter D will be like this. Letter E will be like this. Letter F will be like this. Letter L will be like this. And letter M will be like this. O, this one. R, this one. S, this one. U, this one. W will be this one. And let us click on done. After that, if we want to if we want to connect the lip sync with an audio file, first of all, we need to import the audio file. I'm going to open an empty layer, file, import to stage. For example, this audio file. Usually, this one, the audio file that is supported with to animate is the wave. Let us hit open, and now you can see. Now you can see that we have some orange sign. You can see now if we hit on play, if we hit on play,
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
you can see that the ellipse is still not connected. So I need to go back to the ellipses layer, to object, to lip sync. I need to make sure that I'm selecting the layer that contains the audio file, and then you need to click on done. Let us check now.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1.
You can see that there are some delay between the ellipses and the audio, and that's okay, because once you export the ellipses, you can adjust the audio file on another software, editing software like Premiere. For example, if you have a problem with the animation, with the ellipses animation, and you want to fix it, you can use the frame picker as I use it to create the eye blinking. All you need is to click here, for example, and go back to the frame picker, and you can select anyone else. And that's how can you add a lip sync to your character. Also, if you want to change the audio file, if you want to increase the duration for the inside the timeline, you need to delete the audio file and import it again and go back to the object, the lip sync, and select the layer and hit on done again to connect, to synchronize the lip sync, the ellipses with the audio file. And that's how you can how we can create an animation, how can we add some eye blinking, how can we make the lip sync.